First, we will begin with introducing the JavaScript Mixins. A Mixin is a class whose methods are added to another class, resulting in a new instance consisting of modified version of target class. The scope of a module Mixin depends on its directory under the view directory. Mixins are available separately for admin HTML, which is required by admin side JS file, base available to all areas, and frontend, the storefront. Admin area JavaScript mixins are available under admin HTML web.js directory. For base, it should be base web.js. For storefront, it should be frontend web.js. To extend the mixin, just pass the target component in argument. Modify and return the target objects or methods, and return this function as new or modified component. Let's explore further with some examples. Inside your module, create view and base directories. Now create require.js config file. Create config property. Then create config property inside, and then create mixin property under config. This will hold all mixins that we need. Now let's talk about extending the UI component. Let's take an example of a grid. For instance, we want to disable the columns dragging property so that the user cannot drag the columns around. In our case, we will go for all grids. We can find the column component inside Magento UI module. The component is present in base directory area. Expand web.js grid columns and open column component. So from here we will modify the draggable property and we will set it to false. This will ultimately disable the dragging functionality for all grids. Now open your require.js config file. Specify the column component path as a key. Then inside parentheses specify the mixin you want to create. Set its value to true to enable this mixin. Now go ahead and create the mixin component. This component will go under base directory area. Add return function and pass the column component in argument as target. Extend the column component. Specify the object node as parameter to extend method. Create call mixin object. Create the false property. Now from column component we need to modify draggable property. So copy the property along with the value. Now replace the empty object parameter with the call mixin object. Flush the cache and clear the static content. Open admin orders grid page. Try dragging the columns. Now we see the columns can't be dragged anymore. Let's double check this with customer grid. The result is similar as expected. Now let's take another example of extending UI component on front-end area. At checkout page, we want the order totals to be expanded by default. Open the checkout module, expand the view directory, front-end, web.js, view, summary, and open the totals component. We will modify the isDisplayed method and just return true. Time to create our mixin component. The mixin will go right under front-end directory. So go ahead and create this directory. Create require.js config file, add config property, and then config again, mixins property, and begin specify the component mixin. Specify the totals component path. Specify the mixin path as key, and the true is value. Now go ahead and create totals mixin under front-end web directory in specified path. Create totals object and specify it as parameter to extend method. According to the totals component, we need to modify is full mode method, which should return true in any case. Create is full mode function and return true. Reload the checkout page. This time we see the auto summary section has expanded totals area. We can also extend JS object. Let's understand with this an example. We are going to modify the shipping safe process for checkout. This section is triggered through a JS object model. So inside the checkout module, expand JS directory and then model. Open shipping safe processor JS object file. In this file, we will wrap our logic for safe shipping information function without modifying the whole logic. Inside your module, open the required JS config file from front-end directory. Specify the path to the target JS object. Then specify path to your Mixin object and set true. Now go ahead and create Mixin. Specify the target object. And for now, just return it. We will require Magento wrapper dependency. The purpose of this dependency is to wrap our custom logic within the desired function. First, access the safe shipping information function, and we will assign it a new wrapped content, wrap.superWrap function. In first parameter, specify the original function. Then inside second parameter, create anonymous function. This will take an argument as per core function requirements. Now call the parent logic and specify the required parameter. Time to add our customization here. Add a confirmation dialog. Let's also specify the address type in our message. Return an empty array when gets cancelled. When empty array is returned, the page will not navigate to the next section because no information was returned. Proceed to the checkout page. Click the next button. This will show up a dialog. The address type here is a customer address type because customer saved address was selected. If we click cancel action, the page will not navigate. Clicking OK button will take us to the payment page. This is because of the return data that was required to navigate. Now let's test with the new address. If we click the next button, the confirmation message now contains new customer address type. Nothing happens if you cancel the action. And similarly, if you click OK button, the page navigates to the payment section. Now let's understand with an example how to extend the jQuery widget. We will extend model widget for front-end area only. So let's first check the location of model widget. Inside UI module, expand view, base, and then web, then JS, model, and open the model widget. Now open your front-end required JS config file. Specify the path to the model widget. Specify your widget mixin path. Now go ahead and create the mixin. We will require jQuery dependency. Return the function which takes the target jQuery widget. To extend widget, use $.widget. The first parameter takes the widget name. Second parameter is target widget. And then last we will specify our object, then return widget with its same widget name. Now create model mixin object. Replace the empty object with the object variable we created. We will specify options object property, which will contain open info string property. This will contain an info message that we want to display when model is opened. Now create open model function. Add an alert message and specify the text from property. Finally, return the function parent logic. Now create another property inside options object. This will be the text for close confirmation dialog. Now go ahead and create close model function. Inside if condition, create confirmation dialog. If return value is false, we will simply return the element property and then finally return the parent logic. Time to test our changes. Reload the checkout page. Try adding a new address. Now before opening model, we see an alert message. If you click cancel button, we will get a confirmation dialog. Clicking cancel will stop further action. However, clicking OK will close the model. Similarly, if we fill the address form and click save button, we see the similar behavior. Now, if we try to edit newly created address, we observe the similar behavior. Now, let's test this behavior at admin side. Open customer addresses and try adding a new address. The model behavior here is not similar like we observed at checkout page. This is because the mixin applied on front end area only. So let's go ahead and achieve it for both areas. Cut the mixin config from front end area require.js and move it inside base area require.js config. Then move the widget model to base.js directory as well. Now let's check our changes. Reload the customer admin page. Try creating a new address. This time an alert message is shown before opening the model. Clicking cancel will show prompt dialog. Let's check this at checkout page as well. We observe the similar behavior here. We can also override the Mixin file. This can be required in case when we don't want to modify existing Mixin. Let's understand this with the new module. Go ahead and create new module, disable shipping Mixin. Copy the JS object Mixin path from existing module require.js config and paste into the new require.js config. Set the existing Mixin value to false. Then specify the overriding Mixin in next line with the true value. This way we are disabling the existing Mixin and enabling the new one. Now go ahead and create the Mixin file. Copy all of the content from existing shipping safe processor Mixin and paste the copied content into the new Mixin file. Remove the confirm dialog. So now no confirm dialog will be displayed during shipping to payment page navigation. Run setup upgrade command to install new module. Reload the checkout page. No confirm dialog appeared and page navigated as expected. Finally, we will discuss how we can extend JS function. Let's take an example of extending select shipping method JS function from checkout module. This function resides inside web.js action. We will add customization before shipping method selection. So go ahead and create Mixin path inside require.js config file. Select shipping method Mixin and set it to true. Now go ahead and create the Mixin file. Specify the target JS function. We will require Mage utils wrapper dependency in order to wrap our modification in existing functionality. Return wrapper.wrap function. The first parameter is going to be the target function, and second parameter is enormous function, which takes original function as its first parameter, while the rest are going to be those parameters that select shipping method function accepts. So if we take a look at select shipping method file, the select shipping method accepts only shipping method object as parameter. So specify shipping method object in next parameter. Add an alert message. Let's add carrier title in our message. You can also modify the shipping method object if you want. Now call the original function logic and pass its shipping method parameter. Time to test our Mixin. Reload the checkout page. As soon as the page is loaded, we observe an alert message showing our selected shipping method. If we try switching between the addresses, we will observe the same alert message is shown every time, because as soon as the address is selected, the shipping estimation request is triggered, which in turn calls this action function. Same happens if we click the method radio button. Let's verify with this multiple shipping methods. Now select free shipping method. We see before selection we got an alert message with the target carrier title. That's all folks. Thank you. Please subscribe.